How you doing? Sun is shining. It's warm. I was actually out on our boat on the river yesterday. Man, I wasn't going to pass that up. And the only other people out there were fishermen. There were a lot of people fishing, and no, I didn't run over any, but I had to dodge in and out of some of them a little bit. In continuing our study of world religions, the last few weeks we looked at Judaism, and this morning we're going to look at Islam, and we are really honored to have three gentlemen here from the Islamic Center, the mosque in West Richland, including their Imam. Their Imam is like Pastor Brian. He's the religious leader. But he's had specialized training and so on, and so he's not just another person. And they're enjoying some coffee and some pastries right now. So let them continue to do that. We're interested in learning as much as we can and getting some questions answered, because I know that for many of us, our exposure to Muslims has been very limited. And for some, it's most likely shaped by what we've seen on television, heard on the radio, or read. And just like last week when we had the two people from Congregation Beth Shalom, I want to get my filters out of the way and let you talk with the people themselves. As the more we understand, the deeper we understand, the better we are going to get along. Because, in this day and age, we seem to have, if you've been paying any attention to the political debates, we seem to have everybody thinking that you're either this or you're this, and they're not drawing a whole lot of things in the middle. But in reality, life is shades of gray in many, many ways. Where, often we want something to be totally this or totally that, but it isn't. There's ambiguity. And so I'm very pleased and honored to introduce to you Imam Muhammad El-Samawi? Samawi?
Yes, Imam.
Close.
Good morning. My name is Muhammad. I'm from Egypt. And when Dr. Darrell started at mine, I remembered when I was a student in college, I was studying the Islamic religion. Besides this, we always, every class or every semester, we have class about the other religions. And I studied Christian through the Catholic way. And when we start studying about the Christian, we didn't brought Muslim professor. We brought somebody from Christian way, and he started explaining for us, or he started talking to us for 3 months about the Christian way. Like we said, I'd like to, before starting, if I wanted to know anything about anything, I have to know everything about religions, about anything from the main resources. For example, within Islam, we have two main resources. Anything out of those, we can't consider from Islam. We have Quran, this is our Bible. For 1400 years, nobody touched it. Nobody removed anything. Nobody changes anything from Quran. From time Prophet Muhammad till today, it's still the same. If you read that Quran in Arabic, in English, in Turkish, in German, or in Russian, Quran is the same. There is no difference between translation in English or Turkish. Today I would like to talk about the Islam. I'm going to summarize the Islam in a couple of sentences. I would like to start about the believing of God. Islam is to believe that the universe and what it contains have a creator, who is Allah. Allah, it's Arabic word. It means in English, God. Allah is the one. Allah doesn't have any partner and deserve to be worshipped alone. Islam is to believe that Allah is fully aware of all creations and that He sees them and hears them, as well as to believe that He is over His throne above the heavens. The Muslim must leave of all worship directed to other than Allah. Islam is to believe that Allah didn't create mankind for amusement, rather He created them to worship Him. And He will raise them once again on the day of judgment to take them to account of their actions of this life. He will ask them about everything they did in their life. If they did good, He will reward them. Islam is to believe that Allah has angels, are unlike humans. They are not like us. He created them from light and appointed job for them. For example, we have one of the angels, his name Jibril, or Jabril in English. Jabril, he was the messenger between Allah, God, and all the prophets. Abraham, Moses, Jesus, David, Lot. And the last one was Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him. Islam is to believe that Allah created Adam from clay. Adam, he is the first of the human being. And that he is the first human which Allah entered into paradise. Adam down to the earth and made for him, and Allah made for him offspring to test them on the earth. After many years, people went astray or took the wrong way. And the devils misled them to worshipping idols. So Allah sent a messenger for mankind to convey the message of Allah to them. And the first one was Nuh, or Nuh in Arabic language. The messenger was the message of all prophets, Adam, Abraham, David. The message was to worship Allah alone with no partners, to follow the messengers, to leave off any sort of worship to other than Allah. From the prophets was Adam, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, David, and the last of them, Muhammad. The Muslim is considered a true Muslim unless he honors and believes in Allah's messengers. If somebody comes to us and he said, I am Muslim, but I don't believe Jesus, I don't believe Moses, we will answer him right away, we can't consider you as a Muslim until you believe in them, plus you have to respect all of them. For example, I'm from Egypt. If I found on the earth, on the street, the copy of Bible, it's not my book. It's a book of the Christian. I have to take it from the floor and respect, because inside the Bible, it's mentioned the name of God. I have to respect Jesus, because he was a prophet like Prophet Muhammad. I have to respect Abraham, Moses, David, all the prophets. If the Muslims didn't respect one of them, if he said, I respect only Muhammad, but I will not respect Moses or Jesus, we can't consider him as a Muslim. Islam is to believe that everything which happens in this universe is from decree of Allah, and He has already written it before it takes place. Islam is commands to have a mercy, kindness, and all the other good characters and manners. And it forbids oppression, fornication, stealing, violence, killing, lying, deception, and all the bad manners. If the Muslim did one of these bad characters, killing or lying, we ask him to repent to God, and if he didn't leave the bad manners, God will punish him on the day of judgment. Islam doesn't have difference between black and white, nor between the rich and the poor, nor between Arab and non-Arab. Rather, Islam looks at one who is more in piety, faith, and good deeds. This is the one who is closest to Allah, or close to God. If you have good manners, if you worship Him like He ordered you, you will be the closest one to God. Islam commands to respect women and points out the importance of the rights concerning money, spending, inheritance, and to treat her with the kindness when living with you. The last advice before death of Prophet Muhammad said to all people, treat women nicely. Treat women kindly. Before the Islam, the people used to kill the girls because they believed that the man, if he take care of any girl, he will be poor in the future. When Prophet Muhammad came, he said, stop killing them. All of them are the creator of God. Islam encourages us using any modern means that can assist and simplify the lives and livelihood of people, which are consistent to the principles of Islam. The first word that God sent down to Prophet Muhammad was read. In Quran, God said, people who knows and people who doesn't know are not equal. That's why the Muslim should or has to learn anything that get benefit or give benefit for his society. Islam fights against crimes and punishes those who commit them so people can feel safe for their lives and wealth. It has come to protect 5 important matters. Islam came to protect 5 important matters. First one, the mind. Second, self. Third, offspring. Fourth, wealth. and the last one, the religion. That's why in Egypt or in Islamic country, anyone can worship anything, can practice his religion, and nobody can insult him according to the Islamic way. In Spain, for example, the Muslims government was in Spain for how many years? 300 years. Muslims, Jewish, Christian, they were living together in peaceful. Prophet Muhammad was living in Saudi Arabia, in a city, it is still till today, it's called Al-Madinah. Al-Madinah, translation of city. Jews were living with him and Christian. His wife, Aisha, she had a lot of friends from Jewish women. And once Prophet Muhammad, when he finished his prayer and he entered his house, he found that Aisha was sitting with her friends from Jewish lives. They were 4. And they were discussing about if God will ask people in their grave or not. Aisha, wife of Prophet Muhammad, she said no. But the Jewish woman, she said, God will ask them in their grave. He will send the angels to ask them in their grave. Prophet Muhammad answered her, and he said, Aisha, they are true. They are true. Aisha always invites Jewish women to her house, and the Jewish women used to invite Aisha to their houses. And when the woman came to Prophet Muhammad to invite him to dinner, he went with his companions in peaceful. Islam is perform 5 daily prayers in its specific times according to the Quran's to Allah mentioned in Quran, and according to Prophet Muhammad, he said, Allah has ordered it to be done. These prayers support the relationship of the Muslim with Allah. Islam commends us to give a little amount of money every year to the needy by those who have a certain amount of wealth. This is called in Islam zakah. It means in English donation, which is purification of money and kindness towards the poor. Islam ordered us to fast 1 month of year. To perform this fast, the Muslim refrains from food and drink from dawn till sunset. This month called Ramadan, which Allah has made as a reminder of the poor, an observer of health, and as a test for the slaves' obedience. Islam commends for the pilgrimage. It's called in Arabic Hajj, to be fulfilled once a lifetime for the one who is able to do it. The pilgrimage consisted of traveling to Mecca, in a city in Saudi Arabia, and performing specific actions following the example of Abraham and Muhammad. By the way, all the prophets of Allah have performed Hajj. The Mecca, or the city is still in Saudi Arabia, and the Muslims go around something, it's called Kaaba, like Abraham did, like Moses did, like Jesus did. All the Muslims, or the men, they wear the same cloth, and they go around this place with women in the same time. There is no difference between women and men, and president, the minister, all of them, they have to do it the same. Nobody can say, I have another way to do it. All the Muslims should do it the same in this place. There is no difference between black and white in this place. All this Islam, who in order to pray, to give donation, to fast, to make Hajj, pilgrimage, the main goal was improving the manners of the Muslim. Was improving to let him live with all people in peaceful. The last thing I can say, God created all of us to spread the peace on the earth. We would like to put our hand together to help each other to spread the peace between people. Our kids will get benefit from this peace. Thank you.
Questions for the Imam?
What's the difference between the two different, it's like two different sects, right? So the two different types of Muslims?
Types?
There's like a Shiite Muslim and another type?
Yes. Shia and Sunnah, they have one book. And they have one Prophet Muhammad. And they do prayer the same. Some people, they do it something different. We will say, we will ask them, is it according to what Prophet Muhammad said and what God said? Nobody or no one of them can say it's according to what Allah said and what Prophet Muhammad said. Shia and Sunni, you can say the most difference between them are political, not religious.
So can I add to the Imam, that's the Shia, actually the main difference, as he said, the political difference between the Sunni and Shia is basically who is worthy to take the lead of the Muslims after the death of Prophet Muhammad. So Sunnis believe at that time believed that the most qualified person should take the lead, which is came the one with Abu Bakr and then Omar and then Uthman. Shia believe that the family of the Prophet should be the ones who should lead, which is that's why they respect the most Ali, is to be the cousin of the Prophet Muhammad and was married to his daughter, to be the one who should be qualified to be the first one to lead the Muslims after the death. And that is the main difference. And that difference actually started, like, I would say, 100 years after the death of Prophet Muhammad. But again, as I mentioned, we both have the same Quran, we pray the same way. The only difference between both this is political, nothing more than that. By the way, we're all here, three of us Sunnis, not Shia. But there are a lot of Shia in the town too. And they also come to pray in our mosque too.
They pray with me.
I read in the paper recently where on the pilgrimage to Mecca that there were some single women without men that came there, and they were arrested and imprisoned. And if they, I wondered, the respect then for a woman alone is not something that Islam religion in Saudi Arabia endures.
Yeah, you know, you have to separate between tradition and the religion. Some people, they have tradition, and unfortunately they put the tradition inside the religion, and they say this is religion. For example, in Islamic Center, women and men, they pray together in one place, but women in back and the men in the front. But when they hear the lecture, all of them, they are together. What happened in Saudi Arabia, they can answer them. They can answer that. But according to the religious way, there is no difference between.
So it doesn't happen in Egypt, for example?
No.
Okay, so it's only a sign because of the government?
So, I mean, again, I would like always mention this to others. Egypt is kind of United States in a small scale. In terms of melting pot for a lot of ethnicities, it's of course a crossroads. So it's a lot of people came from Italy, from Greece, from Morocco, from Africa, and just basically settled there. So it's a big, diverse culture compared to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is, again, sometimes I feel bad because, as he said, sometimes the traditions of the desert Arabic Bedouins, which is consistent until today, put their shades upon the religion itself. And they may also take the extreme interpretation of some of the Quran verses or some of the scholars' interpretation of the Quran to the extreme. It doesn't happen in Egypt that way.
So it's just mainly Saudi and the...
Mainly Saudi Arabia. I mean, if you go to Dubai, it's different story too.
Yeah, and it's the government.
For example, in Saudi Arabia, you can see 5 years ago, they don't allow to women to vote in any election. But last year they started, allowed for them to vote. And yesterday, I was watching a program from Dubai channel, and they asked the guy from Saudi Arabia, which club do you like? He said, it's a famous club, Al-Ahli. He said, do you like to play in this club? He said, yes. Why didn't? He said, my dad told me don't play because it's forbidden in Islam.
Playing soccer.
Playing soccer, it's forbidden.
Go to extreme in this case.
And he said, but today they changed it. They allowed for boys and girls to play. This is one tradition. But for example, in Egypt, the Imam, for example, about myself, I'm an Imam. I used to play soccer with people. I used to watch everything. There is nothing forbids me to do it. Everything is good.
So I have a friend that's over there in Riyadh, and she can't drive.
Yes. For example, this is something else. The woman in Saudi Arabia, they don't allow for them to drive the cars.
No.
And it's against the religious way. This is tradition. This is their tradition. But today, if you ask them, don't talk to me, always I say that, don't talk to me about your tradition. Talk to me about the Quran and Prophet Muhammad. This is the words of God. There is nobody changes the words of God from time of Prophet Muhammad till today. For example, the woman, they don't allow in Saudi Arabia for women to practice sport. We're going to take them, like I said, everything out of Quran and out of speech of Prophet Muhammad. I don't know it. We will ask them, did Prophet Muhammad practice sport with his woman? Yes.
Actually, he's raising his wife.
For example, in the morning, this is tradition we lose today. In the morning, Prophet Muhammad used to have competition between him and his wife, who gonna run fast.
Do they have arranged marriages? I mean, do they pick, like the fathers pick their son's wife?
It's a good question. Also, this is tradition in Saudi Arabia.
And too, by the way.
I'm sorry, just let me continue. I was watching a program. It was a friend from Saudi Arabia, and he is now 45 years. They asked him, did you know your wife before? He said, no. He said, how did you choose her? He said, no. My dad picked up my wife, and I didn't see her face before. I didn't see her face before. Then in the first day of the marriage, now I can see her face. We're gonna, like I told you, I'm gonna repeat it again. I will take you to the tradition of Prophet Muhammad. God, one of his companions came to him and he said, "Oh Prophet Muhammad, I will get married. After 1 month." Prophet Muhammad asked him, "Did you look to the woman whom you choose? He said, no, because it was tradition. It was tradition in this area. He said, no. He said, no. You have to look to her, because the love between you and her, it will continue.
I went with a fellow from Egypt. He was Christian, and he never knew his wife until he went back and got her. And we went to the reception, remember? And, well, Clyde worked with him too. And there were two brothers that came over, and they both had arranged marriages, and they were Christian.
In South of Egypt, they have old tradition. This South of Egypt, it doesn't matter Muslims or not Muslims. For example, if you walk on the street in South of Egypt, all people they will tell you Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. It means may God make you safe. Christian and the Muslim. South of Egypt, the Christian and the Muslims sometimes they didn't know their wives. They didn't see with their wives because they have tradition. If the leader of his family said, get married from this girl, you have to get married. There is no choice for you. You have to. For example, I remember my friend, he was with me in college. And you know, the most of the age people, they get married after 23 years. Then he was sitting with us in class, and he said, sorry guys, I will miss you for 1 week. I asked him, why? He said, my daddy chose wife for me. I asked him, did you see her? He said, Muhammad, don't ask me these questions. It's big show. Nobody can see his wife. If your dad said, get married from this girl, you have to. For example, about my tradition in Alexandria, I meet many girls before marriage. Oh, I have to look to her. I'm sorry, is she beautiful or not? Because we believe, or we have tradition, your wife should looks nice for people because you're going to take her to everywhere. You know? And you have to look, is she agree with your mind or not? You know? I remember one of people, he get married from a game. And we always, before celebration, they take the woman to one place to make her beautiful and, you know, to organize her hair and everything. Then she went to this place. And after she finished, they have two ways, right and left. The dad of the wife, of the girl, he said, we're gonna take right. The dad of the man, he said, no, we're gonna take left. Both he said, no, we're gonna take right. They have conflict. He said, okay, separate. What about my love? What about respect my feeling? You know, I loved her. I know her for 1 year. To come on 1 second, oh, stop everything, it doesn't make sense. But this is tradition. You have to talk to me about my religion. Don't talk to me about what people did. Talk to me about what God said in the Quran. What God said, what Prophet Muhammad said. Anything out of them, I don't know. I will say right away, I don't know. This is a tradition. It's not my tradition. It's not my religion. My religion is clear for everybody. The Quran is white and black. There is nothing between them.
Can I add something? Traditions, because start the stories here. I'm from Egypt too. I'm from Alexandria. And actually in Egypt, in fact, up till now, people go to Alexandria in the summertime because in the Mediterranean. So we used to have like a cabin in Alexandria. And our neighbor was a Christian from Upper Egypt, South Egypt, as he said. And actually, he brought his wife with him, and she's all covered, her face and everything. I never see her face in my lifetime. And that's a tradition there. He's a Christian. And at one time, actually, the kids, like high school and middle school, were playing soccer, which is football in our country there. And he came home, and he found her watching it. It was a kind of a disaster. How come you are watching the boys play football? And we have the windows there, it's like shutters within one and the glass. And he actually locked the windows for her so she cannot see she cannot look outside of the window either. And he was a Christian.
Wow.
So it tells you the whole thing is mainly tradition. If you look for arranged marriage, actually in India, there is more arranged marriage than the Islamic countries. It's like tradition. So when you look whatever you get in the TV there, the woman covering their face and sitting in the corner, it's not an Islamic way. It's in Afghanistan somewhere, they're all tribes. Tribes have different traditions, and they put it in Islam and say this is Islam. They are Islamic countries that they don't know what's the tradition from what's real Islam is. So many countries which have many tribes or some remote areas, they have their own ways, they have their own traditions, and they think that it is Islam. When we come from the woman praying and so on, I actually have a picture of Hajj here, pilgrimage. And you find this the Kaaba, and people have to face the Kaaba, which is the house of God. And all of the people around here, they're men and women mixed together. There's no separation between men and women here. There's all of them around there, and you'll find men, maybe you cannot distinguish them. But the men usually wear white clothes, the ladies usually wear kind of any other color.
Can you explain why that
You'll
is
find
a
here, you
holy
find
site?
most of the women, people who have colored
Brother Hassan,
clothes.
can you give me this book?
Yeah.
Just
They're all women. So we don't separate. When you go to pilgrimage, there's no separation between
But
men
I think that we need to know why that is a holy site.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
you
does
mean
that mean to,
the Kaaba?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So he explained actually this is
in Jerusalem you have, up on the mount, you have
the Dome of the Rock.
Muhammad went to heaven, right?
yeah, ascended to heaven.
Right, ascended from there to heaven. Now, what?
Yeah, the Kaaba itself, the key structure that you see there, which is basically covered, is basically stone. It's not inside. It's empty building inside. It's covered with a silk covering, black, and have a Quran verse written in gold. This is it goes back to the Prophet Abraham. He is the one who built that structure by the order of God to go and you know the story when he took his wife with her kids to the desert and put them there. That's what he put there. And then God later on asked Prophet Abraham to go and build with his son, help to build that building. And then once built that, he asked Abraham to go and call upon people to come to make pilgrimage to Mecca. And that's why the Imam Muhammad said 99% of the pilgrimage actions and rituals right now, even today, is copying what Prophet Abraham did at that time when he goes around the Kaaba, and they call it the holy place. Right now, it's the holy mosque, which is in Mecca, the place that you see, and people go around for in counterclockwise, I think for 7 rounds around.
For example,
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead.
What? Okay, that's Abraham there. Why isn't that a holy site for Christians? Because Abraham is as much a Christian person as a Muslim.
Abraham was before Jesus,
Right.
and he wasn't Christian or Jewish. But like Yahya said, this is something, or the holy walking around this place, it's not from time of Prophet Muhammad. All we follow his father, Abraham, and all the prophets in this point. We did like the other prophets did. For example, in Egypt, we had in Egypt Prophet Moses. And the king of Egypt in time of Prophet Moses, his body till today in Egypt. You can see it, you can watch it in museum in Egypt. And the places of Prophet Moses, the most of the Muslims, they take a journey to visit it, just to remember what Prophet Moses did. But this is one, like God mentioned in Quran, that the first house for him, it was in Mecca. And in time of Prophet Abraham, God asked him to raise the foundation of Kaaba. Because it was, even if in time of Adam, he asked him to raise the foundation. And then he asked him to go around it, like the prophets before him, Adam and Noah. And all of us, we follow them. We don't do something new or something different of them. And the stone, when Prophet Abraham started to raise this building, he used a stone with helping his son Ismail. And this stone, it's still till today in Saudi Arabia. It's next in glass, it's still beside the Kaaba. That's why we follow Abraham, we follow Jesus, we follow Moses in this point.
Imam, it seems that most of the information that we see and hear in the last several years relating to Muslims surrounds the idea of jihad against the United States. As I understand it, there are several divisions within Islam, just as there are within Christianity. Is the issue of jihad then simply a front for violence against the United States and not supported by the Quran?
It's a nice question.
It's a hard question.
Yeah, many questions. Jihad, violence. I'm going to repeat again. Sorry, I have to repeat it. I said everything from where? Quran and what Prophet Muhammad said. I don't care what people did it. Because you have to know before answering. Every religion have people, they have something new in their mind. About jihad. Jihad, what is the meaning of jihad? In Arabic language. Jihad, it means defense of yourself. Now United States is here. And Egypt right there. They are peace together. Why I'm going to attack United States? Why? There is no way, there is no text in Quran to let me kill people or go and attack them. About violence, for example, unfortunately, when I heard this news, when they killed the American embassy in Libya, if you ask me as a Muslim, what Islam said about this killing, Prophet Muhammad said, if you gave the safe of contract to anyone, what is the meaning safe of contract or contract of safe? It means somebody came to visit you, to work in your country. Since he gets a visa, this is its contract between you and him. You have to protect him. Prophet Muhammad said, if anyone killed like this person, he will never enter paradise. Prophet Muhammad said about the Christian and Jewish who lives in Egypt, who harms Christian or Jewish, he harms me too. Prophet Muhammad was living in Medina. We didn't read in our history that he prepared military and he attacked the other people. Prophet Muhammad and his companions, we didn't hear that they went and they attacked people. They were living in Spain together, and the Muslims government was right there. We didn't hear in history of Spain that the king of Spain, he took all the Muslims military and attacked Europe or Germany or London, because United States in this time it wasn't. We didn't hear that. But those people, we call them terrorism. Terrorism are not only Islam, in everywhere. That's why our duty, when I say our duty, it's not only the Muslims leader, Christian leader, Jewish people. He has to teach people to be peaceful with others. Worship what you want to worship. But don't force me to your way. You can convey your message to me. But don't force me. Because God created us. And in the day of judgment, He will ask us about what we believed. Like those people, Bin Laden, anyone like Zawahiri, about myself, he's not Muslim. Anyone he attacked, United States, not only United States, London, any country, is not a Muslim. Because the Muslims, or what the meaning of Islam, submission, living with the others, be sincere with God. This is the meaning of the word of Islam if you translate the same word to English. Sorry, Brother Hassan.
Talk about the Quran and what we get in the Christian Bible. We have part of it's the Torah, the first 5 books, and then there's other books that's added on. But the first translator, the first Bible was written in Hebrew, and then it was translated to Greek, and then they went back, and Luther, I think, went back to the Hebrew to write it. Well, anytime, what I'm trying to convey is that anytime, even when you said the Quran has been the same for 14 years, but how we use language difference, and if we would look back and try to read it in Hebrew, it'd be in English would be this convoluted sentence that you wouldn't understand. So anytime that, sometimes I think what happens is tradition, how you may use a word, how the Quran was written in Arabic and then translated into English and the different languages. That even with our Bible, has it changed? Yes, how we use words differently changes. There's certain visions on that. But I guess my question is, what is a couple questions? What is basically how Sharia fits into the Quran, and then you hear some stuff about the 12 Imam. What does that mean? Or we hear stuff on the news, on that, and then how we come into bringing obviously Christians and Jews and everybody into a more peaceful thing, the tradition, how it comes into the modern world, and then how we get to a peaceful way where we often worship the way we want and nobody steps on each other's toes.
Yes. Before I answer this question about the Bible in Hebrew, the Bible in Hebrew, or because we have verse in Quran, God said, if we sent anyone as a prophet for people, we used to send him by their language. Prophet Jesus, he came because people in his time, they were speaking Hebrew. Moses the same. What's between me and you? Between me and you, we share together. We're going to market. We're going to park. This is place. All of us, we share together. You're gonna buy and you're gonna sell in peaceful. But the worship in one place. You're gonna worship your God where? In church. I'm gonna worship my God in mosque. And after that, the time of the worship, small, short. For example, my worship, the time it takes from me 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I'm gonna go to market, I'm gonna play soccer. God said, do it what you want. But in the worship, you're gonna worship in your place, I'm gonna worship on my place. Now we can live together in peaceful. But at the same time, we have to educate people in the front of us that you should respect the others. Don't insult me. Don't insult my belief. Don't insult my religion. Now we can live together in one place. But because we have freedom, but the freedom doesn't mean that I insult your religion, or insult your prophet, or insult Mary. For example, Mary, my daughter, her name Mary. This is my name of my daughter. Because I respect what? Mary. Because God, in the Quran, we choose Mary the best woman in the world. Respect my belief. If you respect my belief, you have to respect my prophet and all the prophets, not only Muhammad. I can't accept friendship with you if you insult Jesus or Moses or Abraham, because they carry, all of them, they carry the best message on the earth, the message of God. If we respect each other and we live together in one place by respect, peaceful, now all the world will live together in one place.
Can I add to it?
The question was, is like, what we say in this country there is freedom of speech. Some people can say the stupidest things, but they have the right to say them.
Yes.
How we say it. And I may not agree with your religion or how you say something, but it doesn't mean, like, say, in the Christian religion, we believe Jesus more than a prophet. You say that he's a prophet. That's fine with me. And that's not insulting. But what we have in the world, if somebody says something, or for instance, we have this whole blowing up thing in the Middle East where 4 people are killed, and it's supposed to be over some YouTube video, and really it's over because it hit 9/11. It had nothing to do with that. If somebody is, that's the freedom of speech in this country, and we have people be able to say things, and we could have this meeting and share information. But there's places in the world you can't do that. And in the Christian religion, that happens too. I mean, look at Ireland and all the stuff they used to fight at over there, blow each other up. So where do we get in the world the moderate, I guess what you say, with the Muslim religion and what the Quran says, is standing up and saying, hey, enough of this stuff. This is where we need to go between all religions.
In Egypt, we have, if somebody insulted the prophets, I can't go and kill him or did do something wrong against him. I have government. I have to respect it. This is in Egypt. Here, it's freedom. I have to respect. Say what you want, even if you insult my prophet. The law in the United States, freedom. Okay, I have to respect the law. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God said in Quran, if somebody treats you bad, you have to treat him good. People who killed for American, we feel sorry because they insulted the Islam. They should respect the law of Islam. Prophet Muhammad, when he was living in Mecca, and his neighbors used to put his garbage in the front of his door. Did Prophet Muhammad kill him? Did Prophet Muhammad insult him? No. But once he went to prayer and he didn't find garbage in the front of his door. He asked about his neighbors. Who is he? They told him he's sick. He went to visit him. This is a way. I'm in United States, it's freedom. Okay, do what you want. We can't do anything. Because I have to respect the law in the United States. In Islam, if you are anywhere, you have to know the tradition and the law of this place, of this area. And you have to respect it. I live here, for example, in the United States for 6 years. I go to market. I go to everywhere. I didn't find anyone insulted me. I have to respect the law. But if I didn't respect the law, your faith is not completely. Because Islam asked us to respect everything around you. And Quran or any books came from God. He put the basic of the life. He will not give you details. He put the basic of the life. Quran said everything gets mentioned in Quran. One of people from Germany, he came to Egypt and he said, Quran has something wrong. He said, everything is mentioned of Quran. And he brought for us in our class, quarter, 25 cents. And he said, can you find how to make this from Quran? We answered him saying, Quran said, if you don't know, ask people who knows. When we said that, when God said, ask people who knows, it doesn't mean who knows the religion, because I'm religion. I read the books of the religion. If I'm sick, I will not go to the leader of church or from the mosque. I will not tell him, oh, I'm sick. I'm going to go to doctor, because Quran said what? Ask people who knows.
Are we allowed to visit your mosque, and are you allowed to attend our Christian churches?
Absolutely.
But
actually to come.
I would like to answer this question because I'm going to be happy. But please, I allowed for you to visit my mosque. But before inviting me to your church, please prepare nice meat. Because I like food. Me and Hassan, Brother Hassan, the first thing, I'm sorry, Brother Darren, we went to the cafe because we didn't take our breakfast. Prepare, and believe me, in Egypt, the first thing I think about it before going anywhere, my stomach.
Actually, so let me take a chance. So we do have we have an interfaith event that's happening in our area here. It's been several years now. It's going on. I mentioned to them about it. It's our mosque, the ICTC, goes with the Unitarian Church in Castro, with the Church of Christ in Shalom, in Richmond, with a synagogue also. We rotate 4 times a year, and every events and every house project we meet, and we also have a team discussion, and we socialize, we eat also, we jokes, and the next one actually is coming very soon, actually, in October 20th, Saturday, end of October, in our place in Worcester. So this is happening every 3 or 4 months. You are guys welcome to come. We also have in our mosque every second Saturday of every month we have a potluck, a social potluck, and it's open. So I mean, we never close the mosque, in front of anyone. So you are guys welcome to come anytime. We just socialize, just jokes and talk and eat some food if you want to eat. If you enjoy to eat.
I was living in Russia for 4 years. And my neighbor was Christian. She was an old woman. And according to the Islam, we have to respect the old people. We have to respect. Prophet Muhammad said, anyone respect the old people, he's from our nation. But if he didn't, he's not from our nation. And my neighbor, she was an old woman, and her son lived here, and he didn't see her for 6 years. And it's hard in our religion if you didn't call at least your mom or your dad. It's hard for us to send him to live in the house of people who are old. It's so hard. But this girl, this woman, I go with her to market, I buy my stuff, and she's sharing with me. But when we're back, because it was hard snow, I always carry for her everything. And she was living in Kazakhstan, and some people, you know, they are new in Islam and they didn't know the Islam very well. She asked me, Muhammad, can I invite you and your wife? Because I was new, I don't have any kids. I told her, absolutely. She asked me, what do you like? They have famous food in Kazakhstan, and the best people can cook it, they all are old people. I told her, shubulaq. She said, Muhammad, for 1 week, you only came for 1 week ago, and you know shubulaq now? See, I told her, the first thing, I have to look for my stomach, you know, to keep my life. You know, I would like, in the next years, or not next years, tomorrow, I would like to wake up in the morning and see all the people they live in peaceful, without fighting, without killing. Our life is like trains. Our life is like trains. Every one of us, he has a station. He will leave the train. Can you leave the train and you leave behind you something good to let us remember you? I hope tomorrow, woke up in the morning and they have news. And CNN news, oh, today in all the world, there's no fighting, there's no killing.